Okay, yeah, we can leave that for the other thing, for the other conversation. Yeah,
Right, right. All right, guys. I'm excited to have everybody here. We're gonna have some fun with today's discussion.
yeah,
Uh, had a little a little banter ran over, pre-call banter ran over, but I'm excited. So, Rahima, start
yeah,
us off there.
yeah. Let's kick off with a quick pulse check. Think back to the last piece of content you published. If you poured effort into it, but got a little bit, but you got silent, then type "been there" in the chat.
I wish I could type in the chat.
Oh yeah.
These are growing pains, right? So here's the truth, right? We've seen it again and again, and most content doesn't fail because of poor effort or lack of heart. It fails
Mhm.
because it wasn't built to connect. And today's session, we're going to talk about flipping that over to make it so that we have amazing content and how to get it to connect.
Absolutely. And we are not talking about chasing trends or copying viral formats. We are going deep into how non viral creators like you, Phil, can show up consistently and build a real visibility.
Which is one of our favorite words here on any of our social platforms. So, if you've ever felt like a content strategy advice was built for somebody else or with a massive audience and not for you, we want you to stay tuned.
Absolutely. We are going to dive you clarity, a repeatable framework, and most importantly, confidence. So, welcome to today's session by Line for Dev. As usual, I'm Rahima Wasti and I'm joined by Philip Cutting, and we're unpacking something that's quietly powering the rise of a lot of highly effective creators, the VEO3 formula.
Ba-ba-da-bum. Okay, guys, we all love VO3 from Google. We're going to give you the VO3 from Line Pro Dev. All right, so this isn't the theory session, it's practical. And we're going to break it down with some examples, some real use cases. And by the end, you're going to have the exact steps to start using it in your own content immediately and confidently. You're going to love this, guys.
Yeah. So let's start by breaking down the acronym VEO. V is for value, E emotion, and O is originality. The three refers to a three-part delivery format we'll show you later. But first, let's understand the core to you, Phil.
Right. So this formula isn't about performance tricks, right? You don't have to dance. You don't have to be any more beautiful than I am. Maybe less would be even better. It's a strategic lens for crafting videos that can helps you is designed to earn attention instead of begging for attention. So most of the content that actually moves people, whether it hits 1,000 views or 100,000 views, shares these same similar and DNA strands: value, emotion, and originality. And guys, laugh or not, right? If we're having some fun with it, but a repeatable system that allows you to focus on the essentials is going to make it so that you can learn quickly and improve your content over time without having to worry about the structure and how to make it happen.
Yeah. And what's powerful here is that you don't need to rely on viral reach. You can grow through resonance. You can grow by becoming consistent, unskippable, and relevant. And if you're someone who doesn't want to dance, shout, or chase trends, obviously, then this framework gives you a way to create with clarity and direction.
So let's be real. For most content creators, especially founders or solo marketers, the pressure is just to go viral. It ends, it's just unrealistic. It's demoralizing. And if that's your focus, understand that's an emotional roller coaster that maybe you don't need to set yourself up for. You don't need millions, right? You just need the right to 100 people that are willing to lean in and to join you on your ride.
Absolutely. And this is where most strategies fall apart. Without a system, content creation becomes guesswork. You're either overthinking every idea, copying somebody else's idea, or trying something new each week and burning out.
So a simple system like VO3 is going to help you stay consistent without sounding robotic. It's going to give you the creative freedom within a
Mhm.
structure, just like jazz, not a marching band.
It's also how you stop relying on a burst of motivation or lucky hits. Instead, you build predictable performance because obviously you understand what makes content land.
Yeah.
So, moving to the value, we're gonna break down the elements, and we're gonna move to the towards value. Value isn't about what you think is useful; it's about what your audience needs or wants to understand better. That's the distinction, actually.
And it's an important distinction, right? So this preparation is going to help set you up for this. So some practical types of value are educational. Here's how I set up a 3-day launch campaign that double conversions. Not so hard when you think of how poor some people's conversions are. Strategic. It's stop optimizing your homepage if your traffic comes from one landing page, right? Focus on that landing page. And the contrarian perspective, which you guys kind of know that I love playing devil's advocate. Posting daily isn't going to help if you don't solve these problems first. So the contrarian
Absolutely.
perspective is kind of like if you don't do this, you will drown in the desert.
And always ask, would someone share this in a group chat to help somebody else?
Um, that's one of my favorite questions, and this is something I'm always asking myself and the team that I'm working with and my content creators and developers and everybody. Right? What is it that I'm doing here that we can share that is shareable, so useful that somebody else would say VO3 is my idea. Right. So I hope this is one of those shareable things that you guys can share around, have fun, claim it for yourself. I don't care. Just see if you can help each other out. So the second part is emotion, right? So emotion is the entire engine between content that sticks. Facts are great, right? We often remember facts, but if you want stickiness, that emotional trigger is what often gets all the facts in the door. All the facts in the world aren't going to help you if you don't kind of bridge that general emotional barrier. So think beyond going viral. What you want for your viewer is to feel major relief if they're stressed out. You want to
Absolutely.
give them surprise and shock if you're trying to grab their attention. Maybe it's empowerment, right? Giving them back their strength to get over their hurdles, to achieve their dreams, to fight through that change of code or that update or that stage in their life or that chapter, whatever that is, empowering them to get past that barrier, helping them. This is a tricky one. Sometimes two-edged sword, frustration, right? Sometimes you can tease with frustration, but sometimes you can help relieve frustration. It's similar to empowerment, but it's the negative side of empowerment. And one of my favorites is curiosity, because curiosity will get people thinking a different way, so you can kind of turn the scripts in a lot of fun ways to catch their attention and then to get them thinking outside of their normal system. So out of all these, I think probably the curiosity is my favorite.
Yeah, absolutely. And you do not need dramatic, dramatic music or sad stories. Just say something human and honest. For example, I built a seven-figure brand, and I still get insecure before every pitch. That hits differently than listing numbers alone.
Right. And it hit a lot of those key points, right? So you have the value, you have that emotional tie-in, and you kind of have a little bit of original perspective
Mhm.
because you talk about how you felt insecure, right? So you're bringing in yourself, which is normally original, even though it kind of everybody has that, right? So this is where you stop sounding like everybody else, but because AI, we all know, has AI templates, all these recycled trends are so easy to get wrapped up into, but your lens is what people want. And if you want a reference for this, a book reference, guys, The Moth is kind of a fun one because it talks literally about how to develop that lens when you're doing short stories. So that it's this lens that helps people develop trust with you.
Absolutely. So, ways to add more originality. Use your own phrasing, show real context or behind the scenes. Offer a fresh take on a common insight. That's how you can provide them with a certain sort of originality.
Hard. These things are hard to do. So the don't kind of be overburdened by some of this. One of these things to keep in mind. So a lot of times people will say share your scars, right? And this is one way to give this fresh perspective by also being relatability and mixing a lot of things. But and scars are fun, right? Just like the previous example, the girl said she was insecure about it, right? This was this quote. But that's a scar. She didn't go into the story of why she was insecure, why how her father beat her one day after a test or something, or her mother said some terrible things, right? She didn't bring out the bleeding parts of it, but she expressed enough of it that she could handle, show the scar, not the bleeding. So on that side, it's also, you don't have to be quirky or provocative, right? I try some people do quirky well and some people do provocative well, but if you're just yourself, it's going to come off well. Like, I'm a little sarcastic sometimes, and because I'm on video content and sometimes audio, I try to cut that back. But some of my friends are like, you know, I was so happy when you took that edge a little bit too far. Be
Yeah,
yourself, have some fun, and there's an audience for everybody.
absolutely. So let's break it down for a real cause. Nisha, a solo B2B founder with under 100,000 followers, was posting inconsistently. She started using the VEO3 structure, and here's what changed. Phil, to you.
So she planned a simple 3-part series applying the same formula, perhaps said a little bit different, same formula. Video 1 was why your pitch deck isn't converting, and it's not the slides. Video 2, the question that unlocked our last 60K client. And video 3, 3 ways to sound confident without fake hype. And whatever these 3 are, think on your story on what that could be, right? So if you're a beginner product owner, right, and you're doing a pitch, part of your pitch to bring investors could be the question that unlocks my first 100 or 1,000 users. And think in terms of your campaigns. If you're a person that's trying to get over learning how to sell your product, right? You now have an app, you're trying to sell it, you're trying to build that user base. Go ahead and do a video. Hey, 3 ways that my app is going to help make your life better and to hit this goal, right? Have some fun, play with these and see how you can make them yours.
And what you're saying is each had a VEO structure, a clear value, emotional honesty, and her real founder perspective. None of them went viral, but she got 2 new inbound leads, 6 strategic shares on LinkedIn, DMs from podcast hosts.
Right? How fun is it to get DMs from podcast hosts, right? And guys, when you get those, enjoy it, live it up, and enjoy the fame, right? Really, a lot of these podcast hosts are a lot of fun. So that's what visibility, that's a kind of approach to visibility that's going to compound, right? So you have to be consistent, and that's why it's 3 simple steps. And this is how quiet creators can build out long lasting, loud, and amazing results and still keep their soul with them. So let's connect the VEO elements to the actual content format that you'll use. First, the delivery model is one, hook, a specific problem or tension. Second is develop the shift, a new insight, mindset, or lesson that's going to be able to stick and promote your service or your philosophy. And third is the result, what changed or what to try next.
Yes. So in the hook, most creators think that algorithm is their biggest enemy. That's what people think. But the shift is, but your message clarity is a real block. It's actually the real block. If people don't understand why they should care in the first 3 seconds, you're invisible in that case. And the result is here's one way I restructured my opener and instantly double watch time.
Right? So very easy. Um, this structure lets you use VO like a blueprint. It's not a script, uh, but it's going to make it feel faster and smoother for you to be dynamic and have fun. You'll stay on the message without sounding too rehearsed, and you're going to have the freedom to iterate later on with a simple framework. It's short enough to keep it on point, and you can add more detail into it without getting lost in the weeds, which I've been
Absolutely.
getting better at.
So let's be clear, VEO3 is not a silver bullet. Of course, it won't help you if you do not know of who you're speaking to.
And it's also not going to fix a vague offer or a bad offer, right? Or a weak message or not understanding who your target demographic is, or even an unclear brand. But it will expose these gaps fast so you'll know what to work on. And that's why I'm a big fan. Iterate quick, learn cheaply, and make your content like a MVP. Just get it out there, iterate, and learn from it.
And VEO won't make you viral as well. It'll make you trusted, yes, which in the long run beats fame every time. So that's about it. And now it's your turn. Drop your questions in the chat. What part of VEO3 feels more useful or more confusing? We'll answer live.
So, what do you think, dear? Is it better to be rich or famous?
Both.
Both. You got you. I hope you get both, dear. I hope you get both.
I
I'm
hope
gonna.
the same. I'm gonna go for rich though.
My wife says, Phil, just get rich, right? Don't let anybody know. I'm afraid I'm not going to get rich or famous, but I'm going to have fun with a bunch of friends.
You're gonna be
Sweet.
famous real soon. So yeah, what we're gonna have, we're having a few questions in here in the chat. So VEO3 has a delivery model, hook, shift, result. How can a creator apply this to short form video, like Reels or YouTube Shorts, where time is extremely limited? This is from JJ.
Oh, so perfect example, right? So when you look back at Rahima's example, where uh, the three parts was good for even a 30 or 10 or 15, maybe not a 15-second, but a 30 or 45 seconds video, right? So you have the hook. Most creators think that the algorithm is their biggest enemy. What's that? Like 4 seconds. And then the shift is, but your message clearly is the real block. If people don't understand why, they should care less and run in 3 seconds. The result, here's one way to restructure your opener and instantly double watch time. Some of this was from memory, but it was something along those lines. And that kind of short play is perfect for shorts. Reels also. Reels, you of course want, I don't know, we're currently 6 to 10 screens in there. So you can, put in that hook, add the three, break up the shift a little bit, tease them into it, show some results, and then have your message. The call to action. Reels are kind of fun like that, like to work in that call to action.
Absolutely. So that was answer to your question, JJ. And Mars is asking, with tools like Gemini now enabling high quality video generation from text, how do you see systems like VEO3 helping creators stay relevant and not get drowned in AI noise?
Haha. So obviously we're super excited about Google's AI VO3. And what a difference between VO2 and VO3. Have you guys seen the comparisons out there? If you guys seen some of the videos, check it out. Just put in the comments, tell me your thoughts. Uh, now, as I see it, the when you're we still have some limits on what we can do with VO3. I think it's does somebody correct me? I think it's like a minute or 90 seconds that you can do right now that's running on, and it's been improving on the consistency, so you can kind of run those into this different sections.
Okay.
But
So, yeah.
so yeah, so for VO3 technology, I think it's kind of fun to take in a prompt, put in this philosophy that we talked about, the value, the emotion, originality, right? Give it those 3 points, the hook, the shift, and the results, and have it give it an example, right? Give the prompt example in your style that you're trying to achieve. Um, and it'll help create a script, and you can feed that script into Google's VO3 and make some fun VO3 styled images, videos.
Yeah, we can do that. So, another one is asking, looking ahead, do you think frameworks like VEO3 will evolve as AI generated content becomes more dominant? Or is human centered storytelling going to stay at the core of visibility?
Mm. So we're going to go into a world where a lot of our content is going to be totally artificial, with no person involved. Somebody's just going to give it a prompt, and it's going to go all the way through. So they're going to give it their design system, like our VO3, and they're going to then go. It's going to go and follow that and create this content for them. There's already a lot of channels where we've never even heard the person's real voice or seen their face or know who they are. And
Mhm.
even now there's so many of these channels you can even tell the same voices, right? So they're using a lot of the same technology to create these channels. People are pretty soon going to realize that this is very fake and uningenuous, so they're going to start craving this connection. But we're past the days where you're not going to have real competition from AI. Already AI is going to create amazing content without people hardly involved at all, and in any language and in any country. So from anywhere, you guys, no matter where you'll be able to build these content pipelines. And even for our clients, we're building automations that are helping people do this themselves, where they bring in their originality, they bring in their stories, their personal experiences, and they then feed in this particular story, and AI is generating either all of it or a lot of it, where the point is they can either kind of show themselves if they're trying
Mhm.
to build that personal brand, or
Mhm.
they can use it to build their story and to automate the content, and to have that content represented out there. The technology right now is insane. It's just going to get I don't know where it's going to go,
Yeah,
but
it's
it's
going
going to,
to go bigger.
yeah, it's going to get bigger, right? And online shopping is going to be a big thing, and the need to connect with people, I think, in live calls in a way that we can confirm that Rahima and I are real people, not video, not AI. There's
Yeah.
going to be a draw for that pretty soon, if there
Yeah.
isn't already.
Yeah, I believe I just saw some video recently where uh, they were promoting that, yeah, there were some characters in the video and they were saying, yeah, now we can talk, AI can talk now, AI can talk now. And they were pretty convincing. So I was like, oh my God, that is also happening. So
Right,
yeah,
right.
another question for you is, with the rise of AI generated content, do you think audiences will begin to distrust what they see, just like you said? How can creators use Gemini and VO3 together while still being perceived as authentic? That was actually our question.
Hmm. So that's kind of fun question. I think part of it comes in just really being authentic. So when you use AI, use your stories, or at least use uh research that is real, that you can point to, that's meaningful in your work. There's a lot of industries out there where health and research and whatnot, where you can't, and you wouldn't even bother saying, hey, this is research I've done, but you still recite the case studies, you still recite the research. Just like in education, a teacher doesn't need to say, yeah, I did this experiment, right? Sometimes it's great if they did, but sometimes it'd be inhumane or a waste of resources. So being authentic about it, and the audience knowing that, yeah, okay, this is at least research, this is the person's kind of specialty, this is going to help build resonance. And when you, if you're going to make content that is AI generated and real content, like
Mhm.
we're doing here, then you kind of want to do something to make it obvious for the users that, hey, this is AI, right? At least put in the description, right? Or pin a comment saying, hey guys, this is like partially AI, this is part me, right? The part where Phil was singing like Aladdin, that wasn't real, right? Phil singing like Aladdin would, be like the Ice Queen, right? So, and not the part where she was singing great. Uh, Terrible image. So, I think, like, if I was doing something slightly unauthentic but fun and kind of shocking, right? So I had a
Mhm.
video, maybe I made a clip like this answering a question, and all of a sudden I had like a cartoon version of myself coming out and doing some shocking singing dance routine, but it's an AI cartoon, right? It's not me really doing it. If
Yeah,
I do this, I think most of you guys who know me are going to laugh about that, right? They're like, no way Phil would
exactly.
do that, but I would love to see Phil doing this. And I'm not tricking you into it. You see the cartoon and automatically it's like you get the sarcasm, you get the message. So I
Uh,
think when you put those intentional flags, people will get that as humor and kind of walk him into that.
and Phil, do you think I've seen some AI videos of people who are saying things and stuff, and their lip thing, the lip sync that they do, their lip thing is kind of wrong in
Yeah,
some
they're
way.
not.
So we can
Yeah,
detect
yeah.
that it's AI created stuff. So what do you think about that? With VEO3, would we be able to find that out?
Mm. It may or may not, right? We have to be careful when we use this to simulate too much simulation, because it
Mhm.
creates distrust. But then again, there's situations where if I'm translating it and I'm trying to have it match up the face and the mouth, because now they have some really good systems that are moving, like they take your face and they're just moving the mouth and matching it
Yeah.
along with the voice. So it probably looks better than me, right? But the what I'm saying is, it's going to have this point to, you're not going to be able to tell the difference, and you're going to have
Mhm.
those extra benefits of being able to do it like in Spanish and Italian and French. So does it make sense if I speak English
Yeah.
and I cannot speak more than two words in Italian, other than wine and pasta and pizza, right? But I can't speak Italian, and if I'm trying to have this dubbed in Italian, I'm doing this for you.
Mm.
So is it cool if my lip doesn't kind of move with it, right? Or do you feel better if I take the extra effort and kind of make it look like I'm really speaking Italian? I
Yeah.
don't. To me, it's like a little disingenuous, but it's also on the other side. Okay, cool. I'm
Yeah.
gonna I'm gonna put in the comments, guys, I cannot speak Italian. This is not me, right? So if you see me in the street, please don't try. Or
Yeah.
try, and I'll get some wine and we'll have fun.
Yeah, that would be much more fun. So, yeah, guys, thank you so much that for dropping in your questions. And here's the bottom line: you do not need a breakthrough moment for sure. You need a better method. VO3 is that method for you.
I love it, guys. Try the method out. Let me know what your thoughts are. And look, just even if it's not VO3, right? The method. Find a method that makes sense and keep with it. Give it 6 months or at least 90 days to see what it is. And the learning curve when you start doing video content, it's hard, right? It takes a while. It can even take a year or 2 years. There's a lot of influencers out there that didn't make it big for 5 years and nobody knows
Mhm.
their stories, right? But there's a ton of them. And in fact, it's very common that you don't start making money on, it used to be, now the world is changing, but it used to be that you wouldn't make much money until you've been about 2 years in. Now the algorithms are different. It's attention. You could have your first video take off, but don't worry about that. Keep at it, keep consistent, learn, have some fun, be yourself, and you'll see that the experience is pleasant.
So you'll get that replay and swipe file. It includes video, aligned scripts, prompts, case studies, and formats you can reuse with this week. Phil, if you have anything to say to the audience, if you have any advice for them, like you do always, we're here for that.
Awesome. Look, guys, if you want that swipe files and VO scripts, just ping me in the chat and ask for it. And look, just want to say thanks for being with us. Stay strategic and keep showing up sharp, guys.
All right. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye. Take care.
Bye.